What's up, everyone? Happy Eviction Day. Who has the votes to stay and who will be the second All-Star heading out the famous Big Brother house doors? Welcome to your live feed update. First thing to talk about that is on the agenda is there is lots of worry coming from female house guests that there is some sort of all-guys alliance that has formed. This happened the other day when David slipped up in a conversation and said that there was an all-guys alliance, but it was a slip-up on his part. Totally the fact that it wasn't a slip-up that was trying to get covered up. He had a mind slip and he thought that he basically thought that there was something that wasn't there essentially, and that sort of led him to sort of say there was an all guys alliance, weirdly, when we know on the outside there is nothing there. So that's stoked paranoia massively on the female side of the house with them being worried, and this all sparks from Devon planting the idea in everyone's head that David and this guys alliance are trying to flip the vote. So it's very strange talking's going on there. I don't think it's going to be enough to change the dynamics of the vote, but it just seems very, very strange that something so little has sparked so massively. But then again, this is Big Brother, guys. With less than 1 day to go, Nicole Anthony is making a last-ditch effort to try and get as many votes as she possibly can, telling Danny that if she gives her a vote to stay, she will not be going after her. She will be solely targeting Janelle, and that is obviously music to Danny's ears. We've seen Danny sort of talk to David quite a lot over the past couple of weeks now, and they seem quite tight. They had a lovely little conversation yesterday morning with Danny showing that she's definitely got David's back. So I think it's going to be very, very hard to pry Danny's vote into Nicole Anthony's favour. However, the only way that I feel like that could happen is if Danny was she knew the whole house was going to flip, because with Danny at the moment, she seems to have a deal with nearly absolutely everyone in the house. So I think the best thing for Danny is just to be on the right side of the vote, ensuring that she doesn't make as many enemies as possible. I think she knows what she's doing, but people are starting to realise that she's got a lot of deals. She's got to play it careful, but ensure that you're on the right side of the vote. Devon got emotional in the storage room with Kevin, telling her that she wants to make sure that 2 black people can get to the final 2 chairs, even if it is not herself. She just really, really wants history to be made and set an example for her daughter. So it seems as though she's just Kevin was consoling her there. Kevin was saying, he understands, but not to the full extent that Devon would. So there's definitely some sort of dynamic we could see forming between Devon and Kevin there. They both seem to get along extremely well. Kevin starts to slightly be picking himself up after this sort of Weasley style of gameplay he's been doing, where he's going to every single pocket of the house. He's starting to make genuine connections with people, which is nice to see. But yes, Devon has definitely expressed the fact that she wants 2 black people to get to the final 2 chairs. Even if it is not herself, she'll put her game on the line as long as 2 black people get there, being David and Bailey there as well. The feeds went down shortly and they returned, and it sort of showed that house guests have actually been allowed to practice for tonight's HOH competition, which tells me it's definitely some sort of throwing comp or some sort of catapult or some sort of golf club style sort of comp. We've seen those sort of ones in the past, but it's going to be one that's over quite quick, and it's, whoever can get the most points wins for landing it in different areas. So they've obviously been allowed to practice for that, but we will see tonight, obviously, which is really exciting. I think with the throwing and kicking ones, it's pretty much anyone's game. It can literally go any direction, which really excites me a lot. It's a fair game, and I can't wait to see what happens. Nicole Anthony and Janelle finally sat down, trying to get the mist out of the way, with Nicole Anthony obviously totally distrusting Janelle. Janelle is trying to reassure her that she and Kesa do have her back with Janelle, and things got a little bit sort of feisty with, Nicole saying, you shared a bottle of wine with Memphis, and Janelle was like, yeah, to try and get you off the block. And there was an awkward pause, and and Janelle saying, I tried, and then Nicole was like, not hard enough, and saying like, Nicole, that's not the case, we are really trying to save you. Nicole walks out and says, what a bunch of horse. And then it just transpired from there, with Nicole going saying, I don't want Janelle to follow me. It was just quite sad to see, because we know obviously that Janelle and Kesa do have Nicole's back, and it's really, really sad to see Nicole sort of combusting and going into that sort of mode, because it's the truth. She's being missed from the truth, and she needs to know that Janelle and Kesa do have her back. She's starting to realise ever so slightly as the day goes on, but we'll get to that later. But as of that point, Nicole, just the paranoia continues to be absolutely top-notch level. It's at level 100. It's just, and it needs to come down in order for us to have a chance to stay this week. Even though on Cody's side of the house, it seems as though everything's just, okay, we're keeping David. Nobody's really had a chance to evaluate their own games. It's been the consensus of the group, and Enzo has sat down with Cody and said, do you know what, Cody? I think if we actually save Nicole and Anthony, it could do our games better, and I think Cody deep down believes that as well. I believe that quite a few people are starting to realise that David could potentially be more of a threat than Nicole to their games, which is why there's starting to be slight mumblings of a vote flip. Again, we still have a full day to go, obviously today, until the vote actually happens tonight, and many things can happen in that time. All it takes is a few conversations and a few secrets to be thrown around, and there you go, there's a vote flip. David has told Bailey that if he was to win HOH this week, if he stays, obviously he would nominate Memphis and also put him on slop for a little bit of retribution. And I think that's totally fair enough. I think David did evaluate earlier in the week at the fact that maybe it's not the greatest idea to go all guns a-blazing on Memphis, but it seems as though he's retracted to that and he just wants a little bit of sweet, sweet revenge. So I think that's what David could be doing this week. Cody did also mention to Tyler, another sign of the vote potentially flipping, that he doesn't even care who stays or goes at this point. And the fact that that group had been so hardcore in keeping David all week, to the fact that where two of the core members are telling each other, or one's telling the other, I don't really care who goes, and probably inflicting that idea on the other person as well, tells me that a vote flip could totally just happen. If you're not that bothered who stays or goes, all it takes is one person with a strong opinion to keep Nicole Anthony, and bosh, your opinion can be changed like that. So I'm telling you guys, don't count all your eggs in one basket, because I think we could potentially see a vote flip last minute tonight. A sign of Nicole Anthony realising that she may have not actually been perceiving Janelle and Case's interactions in the right way would be that the fact that they finally sat down and Nicole actually confessed everything to Janelle that she had been saying to the house about her, and she was realising, okay, potentially I might have to actually eat my words here when I leave the house, or if I leave the house this week. And as a result, she basically concluded on the fact that whoever saves her on Thursday night, that's when she'll know who to trust, which is tonight, obviously. Now, she then went on to have the pretty much same conversation with Kesa, reassuring him exactly what he told Janelle, but things are obviously still up in the air, a little bit rusty. You can't go from no trust to a lot of trust straight away. It takes building time, and especially a vote can actually accelerate that trust and really build it up tonight. But we'll see how things go. The dynamic is sure to change, whoever wins HOH, but I'm very, very excited for it. After that conversation, Janelle and Kesa expressed that they are still very much hell-bent on keeping Nicole Anthony around in the house, and they also do realise that if Devon does keep David around this week, they can no longer tell her any secrets or any information from now on. She cannot be trusted. So pretty much Devon's already been shut down by Cody's side of the house, with Cody saying that he is done with Devon as well, and now if Janelle and Kesa realise that she saves David, trust's gone there as well. So Devon is pretty much shutting herself down from all angles apart from Bailey. It's very, very strange to see because she had a game on lock. She was pretty much in the middle. She was in one of the best social positions, and it's crumbled in the space of a week because she's been sort of saying too many things to too many different people. And if she really wants to stand a chance at this point, she might as well just side with Janelle and Kesa, because Cody has said he is done with her. Janelle and Kesa still have the door open. The only way they're going to shut that door is if she votes David out. So she might as well cut her losses and go over to Janelle and Kesa to ensure she has some allies rather than none or only one with Bailey. Another sign of Devon potentially switching to the other side to save Nicole Anthony was the fact that she went up to Janelle and asked her who Memphis would save in the event of a tiebreaker, and Janelle said 100% it would be Nicole Anthony. The vote would go into Nicole Anthony's favour, and this is again just trying to reassure Devon that if she was to go with them, she would be on the right numbers, she would be on the right side of the vote. I really don't know what's going to happen at this point with Memphis if it is a tiebreaker, because Memphis has been pushing for David to be evicted all week, but what he's got to remember is the fact that the people on his side of the house, or the people that he perceives to be on his side, are the ones that are trying to get Nicole Anthony out. So if he was to save Nicole Anthony, that puts a line in the sand, and then Memphis is on the side of Janelle and Kesa. Memphis has burned a lot of bridges this week as it is anyway, so again, his alliance, he's at the bottom of the totem pole with his alliance when he goes back to there without being HOH. So again, I mean, he might as well just jump over to Janelle and Kesa side of the house, because he's probably a more valued member being somewhere in the middle rather than being totally on the bottom. Devon continues to be under a lot of pressure when Nicole Anthony brings up the idea to her that she should call some sort of gathering between herself and Bailey and Christmas later to discuss some votes to reassure herself that she has the votes to stay, and Devon did not like the idea. She shut it down straight away because she doesn't like the idea of being the person that people will have to look to make a decision. Again, she was in the middle. She was in a perfect position with people giving her information from all sides, and it seems as though her game has crumbled within the space of a few days. It's very shameful to see, and I think if she can pull it back and she can really just if she can save Nicole Anthony, I think it would probably do herself better for her game. I just think it would really, because then she's got a side, and she's on the side that people aren't trying to get her out. So if Devon can come to her senses, or what I believe to be her senses, and save Nicole Anthony, it's probably better for her game. Nicole Anthony and Ian had a very insightful conversation, with Nicole Anthony saying she has 6 votes at this point and she needs Ian as the 7th in order to avoid a tiebreaker. I think Nicole Anthony believes she's got Janelle and Case's votes alongside Bailey and Devon. I think she's assuming she has Christmas's vote as well as Kevin's as a lock. So if she could bring Ian in, that is 7 votes. If not, they are just lying on the fact that Memphis would vote to keep her. It's a lot of risk this week, guys, but we can see tonight what the results will be. I'm stoked for it. I think it's going to be very much up in the air last minute. but I'm very, very excited to see what happens. Even though Nicole Anthony has been hell-bent on saying all week that she is going out for blood with Janelle and Kesa if she were to win HOH next week, she tells Kevin a potential idea would actually be to nominate Memphis and backdoor him. Sorry, not nominate him, but backdoor him by nominating him after the veto has been used. It's a very interesting concept because she's been telling Memphis all week that she is not at the hit list. But this is All Stars, guys. You can't trust anyone and everything can flip just like that. Ian tells Janelle that if he were to win HOH, he would not be nominating Janelle and Kesa. I believe that is the wise decision he has to make as a big target in the house. He also needs big targets around before he is the big target. He needs to make sure he's got other people to cover him, essentially as a meat shield, so he isn't the first nominated out of the big targets. And Janelle was like, I'm totally on board with working with you, Ian. I think this could work very, very well. And she also reassures him, save Nicole Anthony. It's going to be better for your game. That's another person getting in Ian's ear there. It's food for thought. And I do remember actually Ian, after the conversation he had with Nicole Anthony earlier on, he said that his vote was about 66% in David's favour, but after the conversation with Nicole, he said it had gone down to 55%. So that just takes another 5% to sway him slightly. I know it's obviously very metaphorical, but you never know, guys. All it takes is a few people to plant a few seeds here and there, and things can flip. But again, Bailey sort of finished the day with a conversation with Nicole A, saying that, do you know what, Nicole, all these people that you think aren't voting for you to stay might just vote for you to stay. Things are just totally up in the air. People haven't made their minds up yet, and I think that pretty much sums it this week. And I think it really is, like I said before, it's going to be a last-minute decision, I believe. I think they'll have to hammer a few things out, but there was often times Nicole Anthony said, well, majority of the time in BB21, where people would be deciding literally last minute, and there'd be arguments on who would be going home after the feeds had gone down. So I feel like this could be something we see tonight with two BB21 people on the block as well. I feel like Nicole Anthony probably knows a little bit of the dynamic there of how to make that work, get the ball rolling on that sort of flip. But you never know, guys. It might just be smooth, but we'll see. I'm excited for tonight, though. I think it's going to be a fantastic episode. Now, that is all of your game talk for today, folks. Tonight is the big night in which the second All-Star is evicted, and I can't wait for it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Thank you so much for everyone watching. You are all legends. I hope you all enjoy the episode tonight. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And besides from that, I'll say the usual stuff. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all of that stuff. Until your next update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.